Hello. Just give me a 1 second here. Alright. Hello. My name is Rob Gray, the president of the International Space Research Team, or I.S.R for short. I handle every decision made in the I.S.R, including staff hires. So, a good impression on me is always the best option for anyone wanting to join the I.S.R. Before we get started on the interview process, I need to let you know a few things about this operation. This job requires you to be away from home for months at a time, and if you're up in space, it can be years. Are you okay with this? Okay. Most importantly, everything here is kept private, including this interview. You may tell others that you were interviewed and/or got the job, but no specifics. Do you understand? Okay, good. Trust me. We will know if you do spread any declassified information to anyone, and we will take immediate actions and punishment. I don't mean to sound so scary right off the bat, but the information we gather must remain declassified for the public's sake and for our country's sake. So, do you swear to keep all information of our operation private and safe between you and the I.S.R? Alright, good. Now, the interview process may begin. Oh, I hope you don't mind me speaking so softly. We do so here as to keep everyone relaxed and less intimidated as to not interfere with their work. Now, anyways, tell me your age, sex, and your place of birth. Alright, good. Okay, have you been a citizen and or resident of any other country besides here? Okay. In your resume, it says you graduated from Russellville University in astronomy. Is this correct? Okay. Do you have any martial arts training or any fighting background? Oh, don't worry. We train all our new hires in self-defense. We just like to ask to know whether we stick them in advanced training or beginner training. So, you will be placed in beginner training. Oh, what's that? Don't worry about that right now. I'll get into that later. Okay. Just a few more things here. Have you tried the lasagna? It's my favorite. See, I could have been asking you something totally off the wall bonkers just so you let your guard down. You could have been killed in those few seconds it took for you to understand the question. Okay, listen. Before we go any further, the I.S.R is only hiring alert, intelligent, and trustworthy individuals. If you're not any of those, and I'm just going to be wasting my time, please exit the building and pretend that this whole interview never happened. Do I make myself crystal? That's what I want to hear. Okay. Let's see. Now, do you have any allergies, such as seasonal, food, or drug allergies? To contrast? No. Oh, okay. I got it. Contrast, like the stuff they use for an MRI. Yeah. Okay, I got that. Okay. Have you ever been to jail and or are a felon? That's good. Alright, let me just enter in a few more things here. Okay. Okay, we got all your basic information, and everything you said is true based on your background check. You are now qualified to continue further in this interview. Alright. The majority of your time at I.S.R will be studying here in our labs. Now, that doesn't mean you won't ever be deployed to space, as we like to send at least 2 lab techs with the rest of the astronauts in the case that they find something and it needs studied right there on the spot. We also offer chances for promotion, so you won't be stuck as a lab tech forever, unless you choose to, of course. Even as a lab tech, though, you will be receiving the same training and equipment as the astronauts. Sometimes things can get, how you say, a little out of hand, but that's expected when dealing with the things from outer space. We don't know if breaking into that rock causes massive amounts of radiation to leak into the air, or maybe something was inside of it and it gets loose. So we like to make sure that everyone from janitors to reception knows what to do during an emergency. Okay, only difference is you will be required self-defense, weapons, and emergency training every 3 months versus every 2 weeks the astronauts must go through. And before you are allowed in the lab, you must go through the training, which will take up to a month. Let's see. The training you will go through every 3 months is more of a watered down gloss through version to keep you up to date. The training you will be doing at the beginning is a bit more in depth and will have you going through lessons. And during this training, you will learn what to do during a radiation leak, self-defense when encountering extraterrestrial or other enemy encounters, and basic first aid and medical training. Okay, good. So, I'm going to pull up some of the basic training real quick here. Just give me 1 second. This computer's kind of a mess. Okay, here we go. I pulled up a brief description of some of the training you will be learning, just to kind of give you a heads up on what you will be learning. I will print these out, and you can study these in our local library. The printouts must never leave the building. If you are searched on your exit and they find these papers, you will suffer punishment. Alright. Radiation emergencies. You'll be studying many things from space, and they can, and most oftentimes, carry large amounts of radiation. You will be equipped with protective gear that can protect from radiation in the lab. But of course, it's not 100% effective. In the case of a leak, you will take one of your Radio X pills that must be on you at all times. Radio X is a radiation neutralizer that can kill any amount of radiation within the first 6 hours of detection. You will be given 20 pills every month, although we will give you more in the event you need more than 20 a month. Radiation, while very common, isn't a huge issue here. With the invention of Radio X, radiation is more like having to change a tire on your car. Okay. Self-defense. Okay. I know in the media, astronauts are known for going up into space and studying the planets, which is all true. But the one thing we keep very secret here are the possibilities of altercations that can occur while out in space. The threat for extraterrestrial warfare is extremely high, but we keep a very well-armed and trained military covering every continent. That's why we keep the public away from our extraterrestrial findings, as to not cause unnecessary concern and panic. You will be trained with various types of weaponry and tasked with creating different types of weaponry, as there are many types of life forms floating around the empty void of space. You will be equipped with an assault rifle and a specialized gun that can put down most extraterrestrial hostiles. As you know, we aren't friendly with other countries, and we tend to, run into each other up in space, and you may, even as a lab tech, have to use lethal force to stop them from taking our findings, or neutralizing you and your comrades. Are you willing to fight for the I.S.R. in any way deemed necessary? That's what I wanted to hear. Okay. Medical emergencies. This kind of ties in with radiation leaks, as this is our most common medical emergency. However, there have been times that, well, like I said before, we deal with many different extraterrestrial type of things. It's not like finding anything unexplained on Earth where we can just narrow it down and come up with a way to dissect and or examine it. Sometimes that liquid-filled sack full of fish could be very hostile once disturbed and may injure or kill you or kill your colleagues. So, you will be equipped with 1 machete, 2 scalpels, alcohol, and not the fun drinking stuff, gauze, morphine in IV form, medical tape, 5 IV needles and tubes. You will be trained in what to do during just about any emergency that can occur during space exploration. But, as I said, space is an empty void with different galaxies and different planets. There have been rare cases where a life form from another planet has caused harm, and we have no medical knowledge on what toxins were administered or other forms of accidents. But I wouldn't worry too much of that. The last case we've had something like that happen was in 1994, when a lizard-like creature from the planet Sorcon bit and infected 2 of our astronauts with an unknown bacteria. But within 2 weeks, we found a medication that kills that very same bacteria. Okay, that concludes our interview, and I am very pleased to welcome you aboard the I.S.R. laboratory facility. You will start training in exactly 1 week and will not be allowed back into civilization until your training is complete. You will also be required to submit a drug test the day before training, and if anything is found, you will be denied and forbidden to ever return here. Do I make myself clear? Great. Now, remember, everything in this interview is private. You may tell friends and family you got the job, but the specifics must remain hidden. Now, have a great rest of your night and sleep well.